Hey guys, this is God of Politics. I'm welcome back to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, join the Discord that is linked down in the description and check out the website, which is also linked down in the description. But that was it. That was the election, and it was a crazy election that is actually not finished yet. I was, up the entire night. I have not gotten sleep in quite a long time. You can probably tell that by the way I look and the way I sound. I am very tired right now, but I still did want to talk about these results. This will not be anywhere near the last video I make about these results. It will take months to digest everything that has gone on last night, and so much went on last night. It was nothing to really, what most people thought, but the one thing is, my prediction could actually turn out to be almost 100% correct. So, as we can see right now, the state of the race, the New York Times has 253 electoral votes projected for Joe Biden, and there are 214 electoral votes projected for Donald Trump. Currently, Joe Biden is winning the popular vote by 2.4 percentage points, and we could be looking at a huge popular vote win because you still only have 73% of California in, 84% of New York, 78% of Massachusetts, you've got 95% of Oregon, 91% of Colorado. You're going to get a net of a lot of votes from these areas, and, Biden's looking at a very, very big popular vote win here, which will actually this time be accompanied by an electoral college victory for the Democrats. This will be the 7 out of the last 8 elections Democrats have won the popular vote, which is a longer stretch than any other party in U.S. history. And now they have something to show for it. They will, the way it looks like, Joe Biden is going to be elected president. He is currently leading in Michigan and Wisconsin. Those states have been called for Joe Biden. He leads in Nevada by 0.6 percentage points. We have 14% of the vote remaining, but that vote remaining is mail-in ballots. So we expect that to be good for Joe Biden, if not, not going to be detrimental to him, where Donald Trump will net 8K votes. So it's looking like Joe Biden will also win the state of Nevada. The state of Arizona is a very interesting state because, people like the AP, Fox News, they've already called Arizona, but the New York Times and CNN has not called the state of Arizona yet. So this is quite an interesting one because Joe Biden is currently winning right now by 3.4 percentage points with 86% of the vote reporting. I do think he will end up winning it. It has been tightening from what it was earlier on, but I just don't see a path for Donald Trump to be able to net 100,000 votes, almost 95,000 votes here. It's just not going to be plausible for him. And there's also the opportunity that Joe Biden picks up Pennsylvania here. He was down, 10 percentage points earlier this morning at around 5 a.m. when I was watching it or something like that. He is now down just 4.3 percentage points. So that is something of note in the state of Pennsylvania. Joe Biden also has a realistic chance in the state of Georgia. He is currently trailing by 1.2 percentage points. If you went to bed or, maybe 11, 12 o'clock last night, Joe Biden was losing the state by around 12 percentage points in the double digits area. But then Atlanta started to come in, and there's still areas in Atlanta to come in, and there are areas outside of Atlanta to come in, like Chatham County, like Richmond County. So Joe Biden could actually win the state of Georgia. I expect him to very narrowly lose it, but it's quite an interesting thing we're seeing, and it is showing that the suburban trend is real. Many people doubted it. The suburban trend was just 2018 and just 2016. It's not real. Well, those people were proven wrong. The suburban trend definitely does exist. That's why Joe Biden won a state like Minnesota by 7.1 percentage points. That is the reason that it was closer in a state like Kansas. We see the suburban trend there in Johnson County. We can see the suburban trend here in Colorado, where Biden won by 13.5 percentage points. We can see it in Arizona, where Biden's winning Maricopa County by 6 percentage points. We can see that in Georgia. We can see that, by a big margin in states like North Carolina. You can see it in Virginia. You can see it in Illinois. You can see it in Minnesota, New York. The list just goes on and on. The suburbs trended very far towards the Democrats, and that is what won states like Arizona for Joe Biden. That is what made states like Georgia very close, and North Carolina very close, and Pennsylvania very close, where he will probably end up winning it, to be honest. And he is doing better in the Detroit suburbs, too, compared to Hillary Clinton, and I do expect him to outperform her. And we're not even done counting the votes yet, and it's looking like he's going to do quite well in these two states. But, if you were looking at it early in the night, things actually did not look good for Joe Biden. And many people were really dooming at the beginning of the night. People who supported Biden, they were saying, we've lost all hope because we've lost Florida by such a large margin. Well, Florida is very independent of the other results. So, when I was talking to people last night, they said, Biden's not going to win the election now because of how much he's losing Florida by. But then you really have to note, Florida ended up being so different from the other results. But Biden actually did better in areas in Florida. He flipped Duval County. He flipped Pinellas County. He did better in Orange and Seminole County and Osceola County. He did better in these areas up here near Tallahassee. The one area he did worse was Miami-Dade County, which he won by a measly 7.3 percentage points after Hillary Clinton won it by 30 percentage points. That is the largest county in the state. And you're going to get absolutely destroyed when you're winning the largest county in the state by 23 points less than the person before you. So that was really bad on Joe Biden's part for not making the proper outreach to that community, but it didn't really matter. People expected Donald Trump to win Florida. I expected Donald Trump to win Florida, not by that margin, but I did expect Trump to win Florida. And I did expect Trump to win Texas, too. Probably not by this much, but we also saw the suburban trend here. Fort Bend County, this is a county that did not go to the Democrats in 2016, but it did in 2018. Same thing in Williamson County. Tarrant County almost flipped towards the Democrats here. Just 2,000 votes separating them. Denton County, Collin County both trended very far towards the Democrats as well. So that suburban trend is really, really alive. And when you match it up with my current prediction, well, my current prediction had it like this. This is what my prediction had it at, 290 to 248. Currently, if we add up all the states where the candidate is leading, it would look like this. So if you do flip Pennsylvania into Biden's column, which is the same thing that happened in Michigan and Wisconsin, my prediction is 100% accurate. 50 out of 50 of the states right. Sure, I got a couple margins wrong. I got, the margin of Florida wrong. I got the margin of Minnesota wrong. I got the margin of Texas wrong. But the most important part is, seeing how these states are going to go. And I really said a state like Georgia could go either way. And at this point, it could go either way. So I am pretty proud of my presidential election prediction. My Senate election prediction was not as good. Susan Collins, in my opinion, really pulled off an upset here, especially by winning by this much. Tom Tillis, I probably should have gone with my gut feeling saying Tom Tillis should have won, but I did put Cal Cunningham to win. Probably shouldn't have trusted the polls. That is one thing that we can all take away from this, to never trust the polls again. And I, assumed that the polls were going to be quite off. If I had assumed the polls would be accurate, I would have had Biden winning Michigan and Wisconsin by 8 percentage points. He's looking like he's going to win them by around 1 percentage points this time. But it's a similar thing in North Carolina. The polls underestimated Tom Tillis. Gary Peters is about to barely eke out a victory. Democrats are not actually doing that well in the Senate. The important things of note, it looks like they're going to hold out in Michigan. It looks like they're going to lose North Carolina. But if they can get David Perdue below 50%, like I predicted, then both seats will go to a runoff. I did predict Warnock would come first, Loeffler would come second. That did end up to be true. So they will be going in a runoff in the beginning of January, I do believe here. Democrats ended up flipping the states of Colorado and Arizona. I did project it to go by a lean margin. Mark Kelly's currently winning by 5.2 percentage points. I do expect it to tighten a little bit there. Colorado, John Hickenlooper won by just below 10, like I predicted. Tina Smith in the state of Minnesota won by just above 5, like I predicted. Mark Warner won very easily in Virginia, like predicted. Same thing in New Hampshire. Nothing really else competitive over here. Kansas, I did overestimate Barbara Bollier a little bit. I had her losing by around 9. She lost by around 12.5 here. Texas, I did this barely went in the likely column, 9.9 percentage points. I did think, I got this prediction mostly accurate, to be honest. I did greatly underestimate Joni Ernst. I did really not think she was going to do this well, and Teresa Greenfield was going to do this bad. I really should have trusted the Des Moines Register poll, and that is something that I will take in retrospect. And then just skimming at the House, Democrats have really not done very well in the House. Republicans have flipped 7 seats. Democrats have only flipped 2, and sure, it looks like they're going to hold out in California's 25th. It looks like they're going to hold out in Georgia 7th. It also looks like they could win Arizona 6th. That would give them another 3 flips, but they could also, at this point, easily lose Iowa 2nd. They could easily lose Illinois 14th, but I think they'll probably win that. Looks like they're going to lose New York's 22nd. Looks like they're going to lose New York's 24th. Looks like they're going to lose Indiana's 5th, even though the suburbs trended very far towards the Democrats. Looks like they're going to lose New Jersey 2nd. So overall, a decent night for the Democrats at the presidential level with Joe Biden. He did as well as I predicted. People were panicking at the beginning, but I said, this is exactly what I predicted. As for the Senate, I got a couple races wrong. I got 2 races wrong so far, 3 if Purdue ends up winning outright, but 2 if it ends up going to a runoff like I predicted. For the House, I may end up getting a dozen or so seats wrong, like many people end up getting wrong. The House is very hard to predict. People people are putting too much emphasis on polls. As for the presidential election results, we've got, a lot of controversy coming up. Donald Trump says, we have claimed for electoral vote purposes the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which won't allow legal observers, the state of Georgia, and the state of North Carolina, each one of which has a big Trump lead. Additionally, we hereby claim that the state of Michigan is in fact there was a large number of secretly dumped ballots and has been widely reported. So Trump's basically claiming that there was fraud in the ballots, and it doesn't look like he's going to concede defeat, even if Joe Biden ends up winning the election tonight, which he easily could. So that is going to create a lot of controversy, and it's going to be very, very crazy to see. But Joe Biden is looking set to win the presidential election, and he will become the 46th president of the United States. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, join the Discord that is linked down in the description, and check out the website, which is also linked down in the description. But again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.